Yeah, thanks for the warm welcome. Yeah, I'm the second main part of the Austrian Phoenix Research Group. And I'm studying this phenomenon here in England as long as Francine it does. 17 years now. It's my 70th consecutive summer here in Wiltshire. And 10 years ago, I met Jay Goldner. And we thought two crazy guys should come together, because in a small country in Austria, and we are really active. And I'm with my first group. Next week I join Jay, and we are going to the next lecture where we are invited, because most of the pictures I will show are from Steve Alexander, the well-known photographer. A bit is I know from Lucy Pringle. I know her since long time too, but Steve Alexander is the main photographer for us because we know it the longest time. And yes, it's a complex topic. But it deals with the complex topic of crop circles too. And this is really interesting. And I studied mathematics. And I was fascinated in numbers, in geometry, proportions, and so on. And then, after studying this abstract mathematics, in crop circles, I realized the deeper meaning in quality of numbers, in quality of geometry, and so on. And so, switch on. It was 1991. When this famous Marlborough set appeared in the fields. And I studied it 5 years before, at the end of my study in Vienna, and it was so fascinated. And then as I saw this in a German magazine, I was so astonished that I had to decide to come to England. But 1991, it was not ready for me, but you know it, this is from the crop circle connector. Really, this was one of the most unusual designs. Why? It's from the mathematician Marlborough. And he was really a pioneer. And this is a new art of mathematics, chaos mathematics. It's the border between chaos and order. And this where life takes place. And you can see, only to imagine how important this pattern is. I will declare a bit. You see here the whole Marlborough set. This is really a set here, yeah? And I magnify it. You see it here. I magnify it again. And I magnifying again. So now 10 times magnification. And still you see the pattern again, the original pattern. But not the same, nearly the same. And this is this really important principle of self-similarity. And this is in nature. And I will show more examples afterwards. And the second important principle you can see here too. If you see here is this small Mandelbrot, and here the bigger one, and the bigger one, and so on. And everything is connected with everything. Nothing is separated. This is an illusion here of mankind today. And these crop circles are a part of this consciousness rising, that we are one mankind, or should be one mankind again. And we are now really on this threshold, 2012, 2013, to start a new age. Yeah, we got cosmic help, but we are responsible on this planet. And these are two sides which we have to deal with. Here, once again, it's mathematically easily described. Yeah, and you see the interesting parts of it, how it is constructed. It's really such complex pattern. But for mathematicians as us, it is easily to compute it, write programs and so on. And today, on the modern smartphones, you have apps, applications you can download, and you can do it interactively within of seconds and minutes. 20 years ago, it was hours and days. Yeah? And only to see, it's only important to know that's a special geometric fragmented shape, and therefore this name fractal, that you know where this name comes from. And the rest is, you can see it on Wikipedia and so on. It's only to show on the web. Now you can go get detailed information. So I don't want it to be too detailed. Important is to know, yeah, that is a mathematical construct, and on the other side, it's an artwork. Yeah, because you, as a programmer or art worker here on the computer, you decide the coloring and where you take the borders. Yeah, the iteration are fixed, but the colors and so on and the borders, you decide when you want to change colors. Yeah, and even there are different types of fractals. The important one is there is a fine structure at arbitrary small scales, yeah? And even if it is considered to be infinitely complex, it's a relatively simple and recursive definition. Yeah? And you see it in nature, all this from the biggest to the smallest. It's a wonderful design. I don't know it in English, this name, from this vegetable. It's really impressive and wonderful. Yeah? And you can see it from the flowers, all this construction. And here from the ferns, it's well known. And here I was in a garden a few days ago in Devon and on Cornwall. Oh, that is wonderful. How many ferns you can see here because of this heavy raining. Yeah, but water is needed. Water is the element. We are water beings. More than 2/3 of our body consists of water. And water is carrying information. Yeah? And you can do it in computer in a simple way. And if you do it often, this iteration, yeah, it's nearly as a fan. Yeah, so it's really impressive. Yeah, and what for crop cycles appeared? Yes, it's nearly unbelievable how many crop cycles appeared who deal directly or indirectly with fractals. So here, this is one obvious fractal. You can see here I was on this year nearby. This is the second one, and here is, for instance, the graphic, the design behind it. And it's really fantastic. Yeah? And so this was so joyful for us. We studied this, and now we were in the fields to study it and to be aware that there's more behind it than normally known. Yeah, and here my colleague is mainly the art worker, the graphic, the illustrator, and so on. And we are working together. I'm more responsible for the website and for holding lectures. This is only my second lecture here in English in England. Last year I was invited in Glastonbury, where everything starts for me. 17 years ago, I came to Glastonbury, and in a short amount of time, I realized, oh, I was there before, but not in this lifetime. And this was really interesting to feel this. And so year after year, I became familiar to this landscape. Yeah? And so I will show it here. And you see here from the pattern, it is important to do it in a three-dimensional way. And this is our work, the artwork, the creative work, to do it three-dimensionally. Because they are projections, yeah, from higher dimensions and so on. And this is so great to deal with it. And because Jay and I met us together, we had to decide we have to do something. We have to do it, make it more popular. And so I experienced this one, for instance. I think one question, who is here, somebody here who is researching more than 10 or 15 years? Is there anybody here? Oh, not so many. Oh, you're Lucy, I know. But the other ones are relatively new. So we know we are the old stones. The old stones of crop cycle research. I don't know the real word in English. Yeah? Urgestein ist es in Deutsch. Yeah? And there came some special eyes, and even there you see these different structures from the big to the small scale, yeah? And similar properties. And here, even last year, I was invited for the first time to speak in the Glastonbury Symposium. I intended this more than 12 times before, and then last summer, the first time, I could hold a lecture. And what appeared 1 week before? A fractal triangle. And I held a lecture partly similar to this one here with fractals. Also, it was really impressive, this coincidence. This means this has sense. Yeah, and this was my first ever experience crop circle. And this famous, well-known, Julia said, connected to the Marlborough, said, opposite Stonehenge. Also, this impressed me so much, yeah, that I came year after year. And additionally, on my birthday, this pattern appeared, even bigger. And when you take it into the bird's eye view, it's about 200 meters, and it's exactly an equilateral triangle. So this was really impressive.